What's going on, guys? It's your boy out here, Boom Boom Tisk. Thanks for tuning in. Today I think we're gonna try to work on Cindy's EH3. I don't know how much we're gonna do today. Is this gonna be a how-to drive stick video or what? Oh yeah, practicing how to park your 90s Honda at the car meet. You gotta practice that. Especially where it says no parking. How many takes are we on right now? Alright, almost got it. Anyways, while Cindy finishes up practicing driving this car, yeah, we're gonna work on it today. It's about 2 o'clock, so it's gonna be kind of a late start. So I don't know how much we're gonna do, but it's been a good day so far. We pulled up to Rex's little shindig, and the homies love the car, so now the pressure is on. I guess we gotta make this thing cool, but well, I'll just take you guys along. So yeah. All right, you guys. Well, this isn't gonna be a how to extend your clutch pedal video, but today we have quite a few things in this bag here. Okay, so this is a valve cover. Got the OEM Honda valve cover here. Timing belts. So we got a water pump, OEM Honda, red tags only. Yeah, so we're gonna try to knock this out all today, if not at least by the end of the weekend or so, and get this thing all ready to go as a nice little street cruiser. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Today we are going to be working on Cindy's 92 Honda Civic SI, and we are going to do timing belt. But first, we have to finish removing the valve cover. So we're going to get to it. All right, valve cover is off. It wasn't too bad, like 5 bolts on the top there. We're going to pull off all the power steering, the cruise control, try to get this out of the way. Basically to make room for getting to the timing cover and then doing the timing belt. Hopefully this is pretty simple. Hopefully. All right, let's get back to it. Pulling out the driver's side mount. Unfortunately, we do not have mounts today to replace these, so we'll have to go back in for now, but well, basically everything rubber on this car needs to be replaced. Bushings, gaskets, yeah. So we're gonna start with the motor, just kind of go inside out on this car. The pulley is off, timing covers are off, the motor mount and the brackets out of the way, and that's pretty much all that was left as far as getting to the timing belt. We got to put it in position first so that everything is upright. I think it says up. Somewhere right here. Put the new tensioner on, the new water pump will be on, the new belt's on, and then put everything back together, I guess. All right, guys, well, the timing belt is all off, the tensioner is off, and I'm holding the water pump. So now everything is off the car. Got to clean up around where the water pump was at because somebody put RTV on there. Hand tighten them first, and then we'll tighten them down. You don't want to tighten them too tight because they're just small little 10mm bolts. You'll crack the water pump housing if you go a little too tight, or you'll strip the 10s, and nobody wants that. So we got Lee house calling right now. I'm pretty sure it jumped to 2. Keep going?
Yeah, one more right.
Actually, it looks, that marking's back in the right spot.
Okay, it's on top.
Uh-huh. Okay, I guess I'll do some more counterclockwise turns.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, dude. Well, yeah, if you hear from us again, something probably went wrong, but...
I think you're okay.
Alright, that's pretty damn tight. Alright, you guys, so, well, timing belt is now on. It's all tightened up here. And the marks are in the right spot, I hope. So, shout outs to Lee for the house call. Gave me the right pointers so I could get this done the right way over the phone. But we was able to get some tension on here, so we had to line this marking up. Had these 2 markings here kind of match the cylinder head. Make sure we were at top dead center. Cylinder number 1 piston was all the way up. There's a little marking somewhere in this area on the oil pump. I had to line that up with the crank pulley right here, the crank gear. So when that was all in position, put it all back together, gave it a couple turns. We're gonna get the valves adjusted, and so that'll be the next thing to do here. So we're taking a look here where the valve lash adjustment specs are. So right here, ignition timing valve lash intake 0.20 millimeter plus or minus 2.2. Oh, sorry, I can't read. And then 0.25 for the exhaust. So it's cold now. We should be able to do that. So right now, with this being top dead center, we're going to start with 1. Turn the crank 90 degrees. Do piston number 3, 90 degrees, number 4, 90 degrees, number 2. So we got to turn the crank counterclockwise, 0.203 millimeters, and 0.254 millimeters. Well, all right, let's get in the fields. We got the crank pulley here, bolts for the timing cover, the washer, the nuts in place. We got the ratchet still on the crank, so I just got to remember to put this all back together with the little pin there all in this right spot. Just got a couple things to pick up on tomorrow. I got the valve cover sitting here, just gonna let it drain out a little bit more overnight. And it's getting a little late in the afternoon, I'm running out of light, so yep, we'll just have to pick up on this tomorrow. Good morning. We are back at it again with the Civic SI. About to put this all back together here. So we got the valve lash adjustment done. Timing belt is in place here. Well, what's left to do? Let's get back to work. Got to put this valve cover back on. So we'll need to put a new gasket in there. We'll need to do the spark plug, tube seals, and the valve cover grommets here. These are going to get changed out as well. Clean this up a bit, and then we're also going to put the silicone here in the edges, so you would mark it here, here, and then on this side be here as well, to just make sure that everything is seated, fully sealed, and all that good stuff. I did clean these up pretty good amount using the parts washer here, so that was nice to have. Alright, you guys, well, we ran into a little bit of a problem here. I was having a very rough time trying to put the new grommets on the the bolts here. A bunch of them tore, putting the new ones on. I didn't put these ones on yet. These are still not torn, but it just doesn't seem to want to slide through. Using a WD-40, trying to use a socket to get it in position there. So that's not going to work out very well for now. Hopefully we can get away with adding some silicone around where the valve cover grommet seats down there and give it some time to cure. But we got to move on, so it is what it is. Okay, so I did get the valve cover back onto the motor. I need to put the bolts back in there too. But some of you guys probably already noticed that this was probably supposed to go on first. So what I'm gonna try to do, which actually wouldn't be a bad idea, I suppose, to begin with, I'm gonna try to trim some of this lip here on the edge to get it so that I could take the timing cover off without having to take the valve cover off it every single time. So maybe this would actually be a good idea. Yeah, well, that fits over the bottom cover. I suppose, yeah, well, what the heck? Let's give it a shot. I'm gonna go ahead and put the bolts back in with some silicone around the holes there and let that dry. I'll probably also put the bottom timing cover back on with the crank pulley and everything, get the bottom just kind of all taken care of there. And then we will get to cutting on the cover. Alright, you guys, well, just about everything here on the timing belt side of the motor is about put together here. So we got the motor mount in, the bracket here is in. However, I had some issues with the top bolt. Out of the two bolts on here, one of them was stripped, well, the block, the threads inside the block were stripped, so that was kind of a bummer. I did put some Loctite on there for now. Hopefully that'll keep it in position. And so, well, we'll see. I did also put the timing cover, the bottom timing cover on before I put the washer for the crank pulley on. So I had to pull this back off again. And then I slid the little washer on there, put the cover back on, and then the pulley on. So, well, we're good there. Let's not take any more L's on this thing and get this thing finished up. All right, you guys, you remember that thing I said I was gonna do with that upper timing cover? Well, here it is. Let's check it out. All right, so, well, the upper lip on the timing cover has been trimmed, the one that usually fits under this part of the valve cover here. So, moment of truth, guys. Let's see if it'll go on. Bingo. Okay, guys, I went on a bit of a cleaning spree here. So before I put the brackets on for the power steering pump and the AC compressor, I did wipe down the block as much as I can, cleaned around where the valve cover gasket is, and then also cleaned down the top of the transmission a bit too, since a bunch of oil was spilling all over those areas of this motor. Well, now we can also see if it's got new oil leaks since everything is nice and clean. So yeah, the brackets are also cleaned up as well. I have this weird thing. I don't like when bolts are oily. It just, I don't know, I don't like the feeling of it when you're putting it back on, and like crusty and stuff. Crusty, oily bolts, no good. So I went ahead and cleaned those as well. Well, we got the power steering belt in position here. I did mark it, so that made things a little easier to get that in place. That's all tightened down there. There's like no fluid in there, so that was easy. Gotta do the alternator belt, which I'm honestly not a fan on these older Hondas. There's no like tensioner adjustment. You kind of just have to like crank the thing forward and then tighten it. So that's what I'm going to do. Well, hey, the alternator belt is there, back in place. Let's check the tension. Seems legit. Tighten up the bottom there and everything else around it. Put the harness back all together. We still got to put coolant in it. Then we start it up and hope it doesn't blow up. Okay, the cleaning continues. We wiped up the oil pan here, wiped up under the transmission as well. And so we're getting a good look under this car. And yeah, as you can expect, there's not much to see down here, but yeah, I just wanted to clean it up as much as I can to make sure we can tell if there's any new oil leaks. For the most part, we're looking good. It needs mounts like desperately, so pretty much everything made out of rubber on this car is totally shot. So all the bushings will need to be done here as well. I did go in and change out these shift linkage bushings with energy suspension polyurethane ones. I was trying to help tighten up the shifter there. Going to the back of the car here as well. It's got these janky looking gold lower control arms that I want to ditch. We do also have some ground control coilovers that I may be able to throw on this car at some point with LCAs. So I want to do a whole different suspension setup for this rear on this car. Obviously this thing, it needs bushings as well. Yeah, so hopefully we'll get a new sway bar set up with a brace and everything, getting all looking nice back here. Exhaust has a little funky tip. So yeah, there's just a bunch of little stuff, but pretty much the goal with this car is to keep it like super street friendly with a little bit of track fun, but otherwise just kind of a get in and go car. So I think our work is pretty much cut out for us. We're going in and we're pulling vacuum. So we should get up to about 25 PSI on there. You should see the hoses starting to suck in like that on both the top and the lower one here. 22, 23-ish. See if we can get down to 25. Just a hair under 25. It looks like, yeah, we got good vacuum here, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this into test mode here. Still holding. Just shut the air off. And we're holding good, so looks like no leaks. Let's go ahead and turn that into fill. Now you can see it pulling down fluid for a general coolant flush, and also if you're doing any services to the coolant system, yeah, that'll help you out. From here, I'm gonna let the car run, make sure nothing else is leaking since we did a bunch of work to the car, and then if it needs more coolant, top it off, you know, crack the cap. Make sure it's got all the air out of the system, and then we should be chilling, cruising around. So, all right, the rotten egg is all put back together here, looking like a nice little D16Z6. Power steering, well, there's no fluid in it. There is coolant in it now. So, are you ready? Battery is connected. Start it up. Good luck. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we did it. Let's give it a little blip here. Woo! All right, that was a success. So I had it running for about a minute or so. The valve cover gasket looks good now. We're not leaking anything. So, well, I'm going to put the wheel back on the car, and then after the wheel's back on, we'll let the car run a little bit longer. I'll go ahead and start, just cleaning up around here as the car runs, let it get warmed up, and then check it again, make sure nothing is leaking, make sure we have no leaks on this side as well, whether it's engine oil or coolant, since we did the water pump in there. But besides that, I think we're just about good to go here. Car runs nice and healthy. All right, radiator fan is now kicking on, so engine's fully warmed up, thermostat's fully open here, nice and warm, and we're still looking good. You clean up the floor a little bit so we can see any extra leaks, but I don't see anything, so that's a good sign. The valve cover is looking good. The grommets are holding up on the valve cover here, so that's good. I think there's a little residual oil that's burning off the exhaust manifold from when it was previously leaking. Obviously, there's still other stuff that probably leak on here, so it's not 100% done yet, but dude, this is good. All right, you guys, well, that's going to be pretty much it for this video. We got the EG all finished up here. Timing belt is done, running nice and smooth. No leaks on the valve cover gasket there as well. And the valves are adjusted, so it's sounding really nice, and it's just purring, which is great. So we're going to continue to work on this car, so expect a few updates in the near future, but not a whole lot. This car is going to probably stay rotten for a while, so it is what it is. But now Cindy has less excuses to drive this thing around, so yeah, we're gonna that's the plan. So this is going to be the street car. Everything is smog legal on this car. It's all legit, so that's awesome. I would love to get the AC to work in here as well, and the power steering. And obviously, like I said, everything rubber's got to be changed. So we do have some suspension plans for this car. But nice thing is it's an SI, so it's already equipped with a lot of cool stuff. So we're working with a good platform here, I believe. But yeah, so again, stay tuned. This will be a fun little project, and I'm going to take you guys along. But until then, you already know what to do. Like and subscribe. Have a good one. Peace out.